Is that all right, Mark?
That's it.
Well, move those books out of the way then.
Oh, that's okay. There you go. Oh, here we are again.
We are again.
Mary Ann, doing something else.
Welcome to What's New. Tonight we have two nice guests, and we will have ours to introduce them and then explain to you what it's all about.
Okay, first guest is going to be Sean Long. He's out at the St. Genevieve Library. Is that what it's called now?
Yep, St. Genevieve County Library.
Okay.
So that's,
And we have Mark Evans, who works for the St. Genevieve Herald, and he is an author too. So they'll both be telling you a bunch of information, and Mark's books are going to be available. So we'll give you the website for it. And anyway, Sean, you can start telling us all about it.
sure. Well, I started on April 1st as the new library director, and I've kind of hit the ground running, so to speak. My big emphasis and the long-term vision that I see with the library is it being a community hub and some place that both young and old will want to go to, and so I'm working on different programs and different things to bring people in other than the books and the DVDs that we currently have. We're doing a really great job with making sure that we have the most up-to-date and the best sellers as they come out, as well as DVDs. But I understand that a lot of people are getting their books and their audio books online now, so the library is even more important to find those other things that will draw people in. So I've been working with my staff in different capacities to figure out what we can do that will bring that kind of sense of community back to the library. So we're starting actually 2 new programs this month. The first coming up tomorrow on June 13th is a color therapy for adults. It's basically going from 3:30 to 6:30, and people can come in whenever they want. It's not really a structured time, but we have all of the stuff laid out. We have a different theme that we're going to work with every month. So tomorrow evening's theme is going to be modern tattoo. So we have a bunch of modern tattoo coloring sheets that people can work on, and we'll have some light music playing and a few refreshments, and come and go as you please. And it's not really geared towards a specific start and stop. It's really, if you can come in for 15 minutes and de-stress a little bit, take it with you, you're more than welcome to. So that's our first big one that we kind of started. And then the next one coming up is going to be our Lego Club, which is June 25th. And Lego Club is basically a program geared for kids from K through 5. And again, we're going to have a different theme every month. Kids can build to the theme, or they can just build to their little heart's content. But the big thing I want to do is I want to show off that work. So whether it's a coloring page that an adult colored hanging up in the library somewhere, we have 3 basketball displays that you would use for people who signed a basketball. We got 3 of those that we're going to put their Lego creations in, that they'll stay in until the next Lego Club, when we'll tear it all down and fill the Lego containers back up and build to fill them the next go around. And then I've spoken with a lot of my employees about what we've done in the past, and trying to kind of reimagine those as well. We're going to do a movie and craft night on the 20th, and we're gearing that towards, I believe it's going to be the 3rd Thursday of every month. We'll have either a new title that came out on DVD, or an older favorite that has some sort of tie-in to what's going on during that time period. So like with Thursday, next Thursday, we're going to have our movie is going to be Toy Story 3, because Toy Story 4 comes out on the 21st. So we're going to encourage kids to build their own Forky, which is the character from the 4th one. We're going to have some sporks, and they're going to decorate them up and make their own little characters. So it's just stuff that sure, you can go see, you can see Toy Story 3 anytime you want, but, it's that community that I'm trying to bring to the library and really get people to come back in and say hi and hopefully engage people with reading again. It's just so easy to do it online, but it's really nice to always kind of hold a book, so. And I'm just always looking for ways that we can kind of work together within the community. I'm working with some of the downtown merchants in our summer reading program. Summer reading is really exciting. We have over 200 kids signed up to participate. I'm working with a few of the shops downtown. Sweet Things and Iggy's Pop Shop are giving us prizes to assist with encouraging kids to read. And just a lot of the other organizations. I'm going to talk with somebody from the Art Guild about maybe trying to get some artwork up in the library, just to get some stuff on the walls and just make it look like a well-loved place. I just, when you walk in, it can be a little bit like, oh, and it's books, but we want it to be more than that. We want to show the local variety. Our friends group is committed to trying to find as many local authors as possible, and actually and getting those books on the shelf where we have a local author section that you can go straight to, and everybody in that section will either be a local author or a book about specifically St. Genevieve and the region. We actually have Mark's books. We're working on a couple of them because the Unwelcome Detective series isn't in our system yet, so we're working on adding that, but we'll have those hopefully in the coming weeks. So.
And you have the one that Mary Ann and I did, she illustrated, and
I was just going to ask you that.
Yep, we do have that, and that's another one that's on the shelf of.
Yeah, somebody donated that. I was going to donate it. Jerry called me, and then he called me back and said, "We don't need it. Somebody donated it."
Yeah, I think the sticky note does tell me who donated. I can't remember at this point, but it's in. I have a small pile that I've been trying to whittle down to catalog them and get them on the shelf because they do no good in my office, on a little cart. So I'm doing my best to try and get those books out and available for people to read, and just to showcase all of the really neat local culture that we have here. You don't realize when you say St. Genevieve, a lot of people think, oh, there's nothing, nobody does anything famous in St. Genevieve. We don't have anybody who's doing anything great, but there's a lot of things here.
There's a lot of things that are great too.
Exactly.
We don't have
anybody. We have an entire
There's a lot
town.
of talent in St. Genevieve.
Exactly.
Together.
Exactly.
And the Festus, not Festus, what's the library up by Imperial, I guess? The one that's kind of down on the,
I'm not sure.
well, anyway, they do that. They have art shows there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Specific art shows.
Okay.
And then I think they leave them up for either a month or 2 weeks, something like that. And then they take them down and put another one up.
Yeah. Well, and that's.
And I think that'd be something the art girl would probably
Yeah, with
be
these two.
interested in. Yeah.
These two people are artists.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So,
I just
I'm going to speak with somebody from the Art Guild tomorrow. I know you guys don't.
Carolyn?
Carolyn, yeah. I know you guys don't have a meeting
Right,
this
till August,
summer,
yeah.
so. But yeah, just to work with, because I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
Right.
Within the community, especially if you have, the shops down there. But I do want to showcase some of that, so.
We had one out there, Jean Reesover
Oh, okay.
had it, was it 2 years ago, I guess
Okay,
it was.
okay.
I mean, she got it together.
Yeah.
With
very neat.
who was out there before you? The girl.
Well, Elizabeth Rudloff was there before me, and then there were two more.
Yeah, I think we had,
Jody Ralston and
we heard
It
her.
might have been when Jody
Okay.
was
Yeah.
there, when the Art Guild had
Yeah.
that one show. We had it right up in front there.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, art show would be great, but I would love to have
Art on the
art
walls.
on the walls all the time, just
Yeah.
because that was one of the first things I noticed when I went in there. It's like, wow, there's the walls are blank. There's a big push in the library community to try and get the books on the walls, but unfortunately, the way our library is designed, there's a lot of window space, so we don't want to cover that. So For the most part, it's difficult for us to kind of go that direction, so
So
why not
you
do the
looking
next
for
one?
donated or purchased or?
Well, it can
He
kind
just
of,
wants to use them, I believe.
yeah, it can
Just
morph into
trade 'em
whatever.
out.
Back.
Trade them out,
Okay.
you know, just get people who,
Loan.
to loan them out, put who the artist is and,
Right.
and that sort of thing this way, and the contact information, because if somebody is there getting a book and they see something that they like, why not
Why not, right?
know who the artist is and how to contact them, and, you know.
Yeah, because we still have some of those books left too.
Yeah,
the
we
ones we
do.
did. And those, I've been experimenting with them. You can, if you don't wet your brush too much, you can watercolor the pictures since it was in black and white,
Yeah,
which we should have did color, but it was
Right.
too expensive.
right.
Or you can use colored pencil on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very neat. That would be really, really cool.
So they can be a hardback coloring book too. I don't know if crayon will probably
Yeah.
smash off, and
Yeah,
watercolor
I
might be
think
kind
The
of
pencils
messy.
would be better.
Yeah, the pencil works really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're constantly, I'm constantly kind of trying to think outside the box with it. We are adding a book club for next month that people can sign up for. I think right now we have 3 or 4 people signed up, but it's going to be I believe, the second or third Tuesday of every month. And
In the morning, afternoon?
in the evening, it'll be from
the
6 to 7. But for me, you know, I look at book clubs as there's no rule that says you can only have one. It's just trying to find those people who have that passion and have that free time to be able to say, you know what, I'll take that ball and run with it. So if there's anybody out there who wants to do stuff like that, whether that's a class on their passion, to show the community, I'm definitely welcoming and wanting to introduce people to different communities, because there's different kind of sub-communities within this town that, you know, for one thing that might not be passionate for me, might be passionate for 5 or 6 other people.
Right.
I read a lot. I bet I read 6 to 8 books a week.
Do you
Yeah.
really?
Wow.
Oh, I like to
just
read
took
short
14 of
stories.
back.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I love
That's
those.
great.
I love you guys. I love the people who just, they bring stacks upon stacks of books back, and then they check out stacks upon stacks, and I'm like, I've checked out the same one probably 2 or 3 times, just trying to finish it.
That would be me.
I love to read.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I have 3 kids under 6, so if it's not a picture book that's this thick, I don't get to read it. So I have other things. I've come to the conclusion that it's just easier for me to buy them and sit them on the shelf and just wait and try and read them a little bit at a time.
Now, I don't plan on this as of this minute, but I am a quilter.
Oh,
I
okay.
piece and I
Yeah.
hand quilt and I hand piece and machine.
Yeah.
So if I ever say wanted to just, not for sales and stuff, but just to set up as a show,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could work maybe some kind of a thing around it if you liked, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, you know, my grandmother was a quilter, and as years have gone on, I've noticed that is definitely one of those dying arts. So it's
You'd
one
be
of,
surprised it's not.
really? Well, that,
Oh, yes, there's a Mr. Ricky Timms that makes thousands and thousands of dollars for his quilts. He travels all over the world.
right, yeah. Yeah, well, for me, I've noticed that it's one of those hobbies that aren't easy to pick up just because you don't know. If you don't know what you're doing, it's
That's
very
for sure.
difficult. The learning curve is very big. My grandma tried to teach me how to quilt, and in the span of her doing like 15 stitches, I did 2, and they looked bad.
I
So,
left blood underneath all the time because I'd always stick my finger. I couldn't wear a thimble and I'd stick my finger and I left blood all the time underneath. So
And
my
I'd
grandma
lose
says, no
calluses.
quilting for
I'd
you.
lose the bottom layer, so I wasn't a good quilter either.
Well, I've got calluses.
It's
I
not my
take the hide
talent.
off my finger every once in a while.
whenever I was playing guitar, I had a lot of those. So, but yeah, I mean, we're just looking for different ideas. We're actually, our Friends organization is going to be doing a local author showcase on September 28th. So we're going to be reaching out to local authors to to kind of set up in the library. It'll be a library after hours event that we're going to do on a Saturday, and we're going to encourage those local authors to come and discuss, what their book's about and what their inspiration was, and maybe even sell a few. So it's all about, for me, it's all about engaging the community and showcasing the very best of St. Genevieve, and I think that's what this library can really be.
Did you have some folders, or some posters rather, that you wanted to show there, or is it just to remind you?
It was just reminders for me. We the last thing I have is we got a Smash Brothers tournament for the kids, for the younger demographic. We have it's a video game night, and we have a Pokemon night that we do Friday evenings. It gets a lot of kids engaged. Just because, again, for me, it's about engaging with the community and bringing that camaraderie. So
Getting them in there too. Get 'em
Exactly.
in the library.
Exactly.
And then between their turns on the Pokemon, oh, look, there's a book on something, so I'm
Yeah.
interested in that, huh?
Yeah, we had our summer kickoff on June 1st, and we had the Bonne Space Museum come in. They did a really, really neat program. They basically went from the discovery of gunpowder to the creation of rockets and why they have fins, to different combustible fuels and why they went that direction. And then they finished with a show and tell. We had over 120 kids and participants on that Saturday, and we had 15 new people sign up for library cards. And for me, when we have those events and we have people walking in going, "Oh, I need a library card," that for me is proof that we're doing what something right, because people are coming in and going, "Oh, by the way, I want to utilize these services because everyone pays for them." That's the big thing for me. It's a service we all pay for. We can utilize it. And if you don't see the book that you want, let us know. If you don't see the program that interests you, let's work together to try and bring that, because if it interests you, it might interest 5 or 6 other people to justify that development of that program, and you might have a community that you're not even aware of. So
A few years back, several years back, maybe 5, the person that was at the library at the time allowed me to bring in to give away a lot of quilt magazines, in good shape and all, but I just had too many.
yeah.
I took in about a box full. And out in the foyer there.
Right, yeah.
And,
Yeah,
do you still have something like that?
We still do that. We do welcome donations of all kinds. We have people who donate a bunch of books, whether it's stuff that's been sitting on the shelf for 20 years or stuff that you bought and you surprised yourself and finished it in a timely manner and you just don't want to keep it. So we'll take those. If you've got magazines that you just don't want to recycle, we put them out for people to take. And we get a lot of people who, they'll come in and they'll dig through and they'll grab 5 or 6, and where they go from there, I don't know, but it's given them a second life. And in that foyer, we have a book sale that we do. It supports the library and the friends of the library. So there's always ways that we're trying to, not only keep the community engaged, but keep some of that stuff out of the landfill as best as we can. There's going to be some books that you just can't justify keeping it, whether it's old information. So you have to get rid of it, but other stuff, you never know if somebody's looking for it. It might interest them, and it gives the book a second life.
You take like old books, like Tale of Two Cities,
Oh yeah,
because I
definitely.
got really some old books. Some really old books that we had in high school
Oh, okay.
that we used to use, and I bought.
Yeah.
I mean, they're brown. Some of the leaves are brown around the edges.
Well, and for us, I'm sitting on a box of the old Reader Digest books. And every time I get them with a cover, a dust jacket, I go, "What is this?" Because you don't see those old Reader Digest books anymore with dust jackets, so it kind of blows my mind. But we keep those aside simply because we might be able to utilize them in like a crafting mentality, whether it's the paper folding or I'm a woodworker and I have a big bandsaw, and I always say, you know what, I'm going to cut those into letters. Haven't done it yet, but one of these days. So is it sacrilegious to a book? Maybe, but at the same time, it's giving it
using
life.
it.
It's using it, exactly. It's keeping it out the landfill, and I thought it would be neat to have those books, advertising, our audio books and the books actually spelling audio and that sort of stuff. So a lot of ideas that I think the staff kind of just smiles at me occasionally and says, okay, whatever you want to do, boss. It's,
Do you have a program for crafts for older people?
It's one of the things on my list. I would love to be able to do some of that, some programs during the day for that specific age
Oh,
group.
yeah. I think that's, because I do a lot of craft stuff.
Yeah.
My daughter wants me to get rid of all my craft stuff in the basement, since I don't do it anymore. I do it for the kids. And then when they get a project, they come to my house to get all the odds and ends they can't find in place.
There are other libraries. I saw one library around the area that they do like a craft in a bag. And it was basically somebody who was an avid crocheter, and she maybe got out of it, or she just had way too much stuff. And they basically, they donated enough for, 3 or 4 individual people. And they put a book, they put the needles, and a thing of yarn in there. And people would be able to check that out. So that's something that I would love to kind of eventually start looking at and checking out those kind of off-the-wall things that you don't think of. There was an article in the Citizens Electric magazine this past month that alluded to other libraries checking out cake pans and fishing rods and stuff like that, and it's stuff that I think would be a great addition. Just trying to think outside the box with that stuff. That's really what it's all about. Just, if we haven't done it before, that isn't a reason not to do it, so.
Yeah, try. If it don't work, you don't do it again.
Exactly.
And you have Plan B while you're at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
That's all I have, unless you guys unless you ladies have some questions, or
Yeah, it was very interesting.
I could talk all evening about the library.
So you are planning on having a craft like, and for adults?
Even
Yeah,
better.
it's just, for me, it's trying to find the manpower and the knowledge. Because I'd love to have that ability, but I think for some people, they might be coming for a teaching experience. And if none of our staff are familiar with it, it's trying to find those people who would feel comfortable in.
Because I have a lot of craft books.
Yeah, there's some crafts out there that we could, the staff could kind of familiarize themselves with how to do it.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could do that, but for the other stuff, it might be better to find those people who really know how to do it and can sit down and be like, okay, everybody, 2 or 3 people at a time, here's how you do whatever.
You
craft
have
it
some
is.
crafts that would be good for, like, elderly people, like you have your crafts with your sticks,
Yeah,
your crafts with your, I don't want, I can't remember what I wanted to say or what I call them. But
Yeah.
anyway, but you have different crafts with different little things that they can do that works with their hands too.
right, exactly. It's all about keeping the mind entertained and busy. That's the big thing, especially at that age.
Yes.
If you're just sitting in front of the TV, it doesn't engage your mind, so.
There's too many people that sit in front of the TV, and I vow not to do that.
Yeah, so, and that's my big thing. It's, I've only been here since April 1, but I'm always kind of trying to think of, well, how can we reach more people? How can we get the mission of the library out to more people outside of the 4 walls that we currently have?
Bring people in. Once they get in there and look at a few books.
Exactly.
What else is over here?
Yeah, and it's exactly. It's all about outreach and promotion, and it's reasons why we're trying to engage within the Facebook community and within the local paper, and just letting people know what we're all about, what we're doing, and what we're trying to accomplish. And I think when people come in and see what we're doing, they're going to see that we're doing a lot of really neat things, and they'll want to be part of that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, and the library is open from when?
9 to 7, Monday through Friday, and 10 to 4 on Saturday. We're closed on Sunday.
9 to 4 on Saturday,
10 to 4 on Saturday.
10 to 4.
So you're open to people calling you if they want to do, if they have something special to do?
Definitely, yes, definitely.
And
They
do
can,
you want to share a number, or?
you know, I don't have it memorized. Hold on, I'm gonna grab that. The moment I say, oh, I definitely know it, I'll get it wrong. So, it's 883-3358. That is our number there.
5, 8.
Just
And
ask to
you
speak
can
to
ask-
Sean, and I'd be more than happy to listen, and, or they can even drop on by and
Talk to you.
talk to me, and I'd be more than happy to sit down with them and listen to what they want to do and see if we can make it happen.
3, 3,
Well, that's great.
3358.
It's a shame that people don't utilize the library like they used to, but the whole world's changing.
It is, and it's, for me, it's just trying to find where it can fit in this new landscape. You know, it's
Right.
it's realizing that you don't need a reference section as big as you once needed, because nobody's coming to the library to look up your world almanacs, you know. It's now, what can we utilize those spaces that once housed those volumes that, you know, even 20 years ago, kids were
Right.
having to go to the library and look up
Now,
encyclopedias and all that sort of stuff.
and mostly the ones that are using it now are the ones without computers in their house.
Right. Well, and now we have, I think, current count is 10. So we have 10 computers that you can
I was just
utilize.
going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
And if you have an email account, you can open it from out there, but
Yeah.
it's not private.
Well, there are a few computers that we actually have a software that when you log out of it, it wipes it to a standard
Oh,
setting. We have a few older computers that we're trying to slowly replace, that software doesn't,
The memory holds on.
yeah, and the program doesn't work on it, but that's another thing that we're kind of working on, is trying to replace that older equipment with newer stuff that helps protect people's personal information. I've had to help a few patrons with trying to delete information that just wouldn't go away. So it's okay, we'll delete the cookies and the cache and all of that, just to get it to where the email wasn't popping up in their
Yeah,
Facebook.
I have a friend that, she won't own a computer, she don't like them, but she uses one, she goes to the library every day or two and
Yeah.
does her business.
Yeah, I need to use it for geology.
Yeah, for genealogy, it's a great, yeah, I mean, we have a great genealogy section, and,
That's what I was going to ask.
yeah. And we do everything we can to kind of keep that up to date as much as possible. We have a lot of resources that you can utilize at the library and even remotely through our website, which is sgclib.org. So you can go on there and utilize some of that stuff as well, and check out your family history.
okay. Well, thank you for all the information
You're
and
welcome.
for being a guest this evening.
You're welcome.
Okay, and next we have Mark Evans, and his website is www.m, is that a
Dash
dash 1
L.
dash L dash Evans, EVANS.com. And Charlie, if you want to put that up on the screen, did you catch it? www.m/L
Dash.
Dash, not slash.
dash L dash Evans.com. Maybe he can get that up on the
Yes.
screen. Okay, and Mark, you want to tell us all about your adventures with your books? This is the first, right?
Yeah, and back in 2001, I came out with
He can hold it.
the Commandant's
There he goes.
Last Ride, which of course is a comprehensive house tour book. had, I guess, about 90 or 95 historic buildings in it. It goes neighborhood by neighborhood, and it's
Oh, is that how it's set up?
and it's
Okay.
tied together with a fictitious narrative set in 1849, and the dying 89-year-old Jean-Baptiste Valet, the final colonial commandant, takes one last sentimental carriage ride around town and reflects on all the changes he has seen, and then as he stops and visits people in each part of town, then that opens a section of the book on that town. And now I've come out with an updated second edition with a professional cover, and we've had at least half a dozen buildings that have been totally restored since 2001, and several others have changed uses and ownership. So I had quite a bit of updating to do and a bunch of new photos to take.
You said you missed some of them in your first book, right? So you
Yes,
got them included in this one, yeah.
I have each, I have 4 sections, and somehow one block on Market Street kind of fell between the sections, and the Marie Laporte House and a couple of others accidentally failed to be in the first edition of it, but I got those added in this time.
And I read the story. I think it's a long time ago, and it really impressed me how you
Well, thank you.
brought his ride and told what he was seeing and what he thought, all that. That was great. So I'm anxious to read the second one. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And then you also have detective books, right?
Yes, I actually first started the Higgins Point series back in the late 80s and early 90s. I came real close to selling it to Bethany House,
Oh, okay.
and but it didn't quite work out, and I went on and worked in other genres, and I've written 10 or 12 unpublished novels also.
Oh, really?
That
Okay.
a few years ago, I decided to give the fiction of the young adult series another try, since now the independent publishing options have just exponentially
Right.
expanded. So I independently published the first 2 books, and the book 3 will be coming out late summer or fall. They're young adult or middle grade Christian mysteries. So kind of a spin subgenre, but I've had some good feedback on them.
So you have 12 altogether that you're planning on doing?
Now, over the years, I've
Oh, over the years you've done the 12
completed
already.
10 or 12 unpublished
Oh, okay.
manuscripts, most of which will never see the light of day.
Right.
But
In his library.
Unless you do it for sure yourself,
Yeah.
right?
I'll be having an event coming up to plug the Commandant this month during the fourth Friday Art Walk, which I think is the 28th this month.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
I'll be having a book signing behind the Shaw House.
Oh, at the Mammy Shaw? Oh, that's nice.
I think in the, what they used to call the Indian Trading Post, the rocks.
In the little building behind it, where the
yeah.
old store was, yeah.
And the Sibley family will be there also, and we're cooperating on a little skit with Jean Baptiste and
Oh, really? Using that book? How about
his wife and a couple of other characters. I've written a first draft of the skit, and they're going to flesh it out some and then act it out that night.
Right.
Yeah,
Those guys are really good.
They're fabulous.
It'll be kind of a step down, going from waiting for Godot to me, but you know, that's,
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was an interesting, very deep production they did. And we discussed it afterward, and we had different views on it. And their daughter Bunny and I both picked up the same thing out of it, and they thought it was something different, you know. So. And she said, oh, there's hundreds of, probably thousands of interpretations of it. Yeah.
Well, that,
Yeah, they're very good. Yeah.
they are.
They're doing a skit on one of your books.
They're very good.
Or work in one of your books. That's, I'm going to see that.
Yes. I'm back in 2001. I kicked off that book with a big event. I had a panel discussion with Tim Conley and Hillard Goldman and somebody else. May have been Jim Baker, I don't know, but we did that, and a high school girl who had done a skit portraying Jeannie Valley, and we had all that set up and had a big turnout and no books.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that was up at the PAC, or was that before the PAC?
The what?
Up at the PAC at St. John in the Performing Arts Center?
No,
No?
I forget where it was located, but
Did Melissa Otto, was she the girl you worked with? No?
this was a high school girl.
Oh, a high school girl, okay.
But there was a delay at the printer, and we had everything but a book to sell. And so that this year I had the book in hand, but I haven't had any special entertainment or stuff, just a couple of standard books signings. So I figured I'd better do something
Right.
to drum up some excitement.
That sounds good.
That sounds great.
And I'm still have slots for several merchants if they would like to carry the book. You know, I offer I think a pretty generous wholesale price to them. So far, Sassafras Creek Originals is carrying it, and Steiger's Jewelers. And if the state office approves, the Felix Valley site will also. I'll be getting out and contacting some other shop owners.
That'll be good. And probably maybe down at the, I don't know if they do local, but since this is about that, down at Mammy Shaw, in the gift shop, the state's shop. You already have it there?
Part of the Felix
Right.
Valley site.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, if the state office gives them the go-ahead,
Oh, okay.
they will be.
Yeah, well, that's good, yeah.
It's had some positive feedback so far. You know, I've included some before and after pictures this time,
Yes.
so.
Yes.
So in the detective series, you're going to keep writing in that, or keep expanding on it? Are you planning to, or thinking about it?
Like I said, the third
Third one's,
book
yeah.
will be coming out certainly, and I'm currently writing the fourth one, and
Oh, okay, and then who knows?
beyond that, we'll see. It's set in 1985, and it's the fictitious towns are based on Bonne Terre and Deloge, where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I have a cousin that lived in Deloge for years. Yeah. In fact, she was a postmaster there. Ann, did you know her? Ann Hahn? She was a
Hahn?
postmaster, Hahn, H-A-H-N. She was a postmaster for years there, yeah. Probably while you were down here the last time. Yeah. Plus, yeah. Well, that's very interesting. I'm sure the books are very good, I know, because I read the first one, so I'm anxious to read the other three.
I'm anxious to get into those detective stories.
You're very-
That's my thing. Christian detective stories. I like that.
Now, where can these
Okay,
books
you
be
can,
found?
they're at Sassafras,
At what?
Sassafras,
It's
On
on St.
Main
Mary's Road,
Street.
isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, the old
Sassafras on Main Street.
Brooks House.
yeah, Brooks, whole house.
Yeah,
And then they're at the,
no, that's just the Commandant. The only merchants who have the detective novels or the Steigers,
The Steigers, okay. Steiger Jewelers,
Julie's, yeah.
yeah. So the Commandant's down at Sassafras and Steigers, and the Mysteries are at Steigers only right now. And from you at the Herald, or the website, www.m-l-evans.com.
Yeah.
Did you say the other ones were
Do what now? Sassafras,
and what was the other one?
Steiger Jewelers.
Staggers.
So anybody out there listening to us have any questions for Mark or Sean, you're welcome to call in and ask. And I'm sure they'd be happy to answer.
I'm sorry.
Everybody's probably watching the Blues tonight,
I am
wondering
very
who's
curious.
going to win this.
I'm very curious
Yeah.
how you came up with this as a young lady detective in all this, these,
Well, when I first created that series, it was a third-person narrator. This group of teenage detectives is 4 high school juniors plus the group leader's little sister who is trying to break into the group, and something was just kind of lacking in it, and then I had my epiphany moment, and I decided that, and since, like, about 75% of fiction readers are female, that I would write it in the first person narrative as the little sister trying to get into the detective group. And that just made all the difference in the world. And that's worked out very well. It can be kind of challenging trying to get into the mind of a 14-year-old girl, never having been one myself,
So you interviewed girls to learn more about how they thought, or did you
No.
just kind of imagine?
That, throughout the 90s, I was a volunteer church youth
Oh, okay.
leader, and so I was, and plus with my newspaper jobs, I interviewed lots of high school kids, and back when I did sports,
Sean, and
I usually had a couple of part-time high school students helping me, so I've tried to keep in sync as best I could with how teenagers were thinking.
ah. That was a job by itself.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
And I'm still hoping to be traditionally published. I wrote a Christian romance novel, historical romance set in a small Missouri town in 1927, and it's I had a couple of agents look at it at a National Christian Writers Conference, and they showed some interest, but it's about 1/3 too short for that genre, so we'll have to, be,
Add to it or something,
Uh-huh.
yeah. There is a, excuse me, I think it's Harlequin has a group of, but their books are those little bitty ones, and they're Christian suspense and Christian love, like that, but it'd be nice to hear it from an entirely different area, someone really thinking about the kids and the young people and stuff like that. Someone that knows something about history. So, what do you think?
I think I'm sleepy.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm sitting here watching you.
Well, just keep poking me.
Oh, I
That
will.
happens every once in a while. And Charlie's got the camera right on. So,
Sounds like
Is
a
there
book.
anything else that you'd like to bring up or repeat or anything?
well, just that, the Commandant is for sale. Oh, and I owe thanks to Daniel Stetler of Cape Girardeau, who owns the painting on the cover. This is a 1938 Bernard Peters
oh, really?
Oh,
painting
wow.
from the St. John Art Colony.
Back in the 30s,
Uh-huh.
40s.
It hung in the Gibbard Valley House for several years.
Okay.
And I think it lends some gravitas to the cover.
Now, is that an actual painting of the Commandant?
Well, it was based on a photograph or a daguerreotype. I'm
Oh.
sure that the Commandant
Okay. Oh,
had to be
I understand.
the first person in St. Genevieve to be photographed. This was apparently the mid or late 1840s. He died in 1849.
Uh-huh.
And then Mr. Peters based his painting on that.
Very good.
And
Very good.
that
It is.
the original photograph is at the Missouri Historical Society in St. Louis. And,
And that's probably a tin type, or was it?
well, it was the
Yeah.
daguerreotype.
Oh, okay.
It's
That, the brownish one, like the
Probably-
sepia tone?
No, it's the print was on regular paper, but I'm sure it must have been from a glass
Oh,
negative.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It would have had to have been, I
Right,
think, at that time period, but I've actually held that in my hands like that.
Yeah, it's amazing how photography's advanced also over the years. Yeah.
Acceptable.
With the guy with the
Just glass photos.
hood over the head.
Yeah. And everything explodes when they take the picture.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
That's-
I've always loved history, you know. I can name every president and what years they were in office when I was in second grade.
In the second grade, you knew all that?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Of
You got
course,
my brain outdone.
of course, you know, some wise guy, teenager today would probably point out that there weren't nearly as many presidents to
Oh, yeah,
remember back then. But
that's true.
Yeah, quite a few since then.
Well,
Because I know I learned to develop,
You what?
I learned to develop negatives and photos when I was 14 years old.
Oh, neat.
Because my aunt and uncle owned a studio and everything was black and white then. Then I learned how to tint pictures. I learned how to paint the
And
portraits
she's
then.
very good at tinting pictures. She did that for my
yes.
wedding present. She tinted a picture. And it's still under glass and it's beautiful and it don't stick to the glass. You can take the glass off of it, probably because it's oil. Is that why?
It's oil. I
Yeah.
still have my paints.
Yeah. Yeah, she did a very good job on it. The dress just glistens
these
like it
ladies
looks
are-
like silk, yeah.
These ladies are just so talented with that art.
I learned that at a
I
young
can't
age.
tell her a straight
You
line.
have, for sure, yeah.
but I
She used to
enjoyed
work
it.
for Dunker Studio when Betty owned it, tinting, Mary Ann did.
I worked in the darkroom. That's where I got the glass negatives. I learned how to put those in and print from them.
Was Leo Pruno there when you were there? Or was he gone already?
No, he was gone.
He was gone.
Yeah, because she used to send her work up to St.
Oh,
Louis.
Betty owned it when you did
Yeah.
it.
She
Leo
used to
had
send her-
already left, yeah.
Yeah, she used to send her black portraits up there to be tinted. And then after she hired me, then I did them all. So,
And he moved on to GM Motors, designing cars. Leo did.
yeah.
And he lives in Australia. Yeah. Very talented man, just like his brother Louis. Yeah, Louis is so talented with his dioramas and,
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
yeah. And he picked up little pieces of plastic along the streets that he had seen, all a bunch of recycled stuff, and make his own molds, Louis would. And these teeny tiny little chickens about that big.
Oh, isn't that thing
That's in the
amazing?
one diorama down at the,
That is amazing how
Oh.
you did that.
what's the name of the house? Amaro House. Yeah, it's up St. Genevieve, the old town.
Yeah, I did some drawings. for
Little
him.
bitty chickens and little bitty animals.
Like I said to Donna one time, there aren't many towns that have a diorama of it like that.
Yeah, and he had a bunch of work up at, in St. Charles, a man owned a little, well, it was an art gallery up there, but it was of dioramas. And the boxes were back in the wall, and the glass was flat with the wall, and they would put the dioramas back in there. And he had several of them the guy bought from him up
He
there.
did a lot of Army stuff.
Yes, Army, World War
And
II.
Navy and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
He's amazing, so talented.
Okay, now, you have the commandant lined out here. Do you have someone else in mind that you may eventually write a novel about in the town? Some,
Oh, we'll see. You know,
put you on the spot there, yeah. I'm sorry.
but right now, I've got my next 2 or 3 projects lined out, fleshing out that 1927 novel, and then finishing the 4th Higgins Point novel, and then after that, we'll see.
That's great. Because there's so many people in this town that have done so many things.
This
I,
town's full of talent.
I am
A lot of
in
people don't know
archives
about
at the
Oh, yeah.
Painting House there, and, ooh, I've read some stuff.
The cover on your first book, who did you say that was on your first book there? No, this
Put it
one.
in your hand, yes.
Yeah, okay, we had 2 local artists who took part in this. Janet Krause did a big
Right,
Yeah.
painting. It's,
for Tim. Is that the one you're talking about?
Uh-huh.
For Tim Conley, yeah.
he commissioned it with the idea of me using it
Oh, okay.
on my cover.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm not even positive who owns it
You
now.
mean if Janet?
I'm not positive.
I think he still has it. I think Jan said he still has it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, but I didn't know that's where that cover was from.
And then Anna Kirchner did some pen and ink
Oh, okay.
drawings, but since I had several additional buildings to fit in this time, I wound up having to leave those out this time.
Oh, okay, okay.
But it's
Yeah,
pretty
Janet
nice.
did, yeah.
Yeah,
She did a really big one. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like yay big. Humongous, yeah. She said she'd never do another one.
My yay big one, I can't move, it's on the wall. It's my wall that's painted.
She paints her walls.
Yeah, I had no idea where that came from, but I remember Janet painting that picture. I'll be darned.
Yeah, I remember seeing it someplace, I'm glad you said that, because I
Yeah.
looked at that.
So
and
that's
thought,
just, that's not the whole painting though.
No.
That Janet did, that's just a
Right.
little
That's
bitty.
just a little bit of
little
it,
bitty
it
section
looked
of it.
familiar.
Yeah.
yeah, that's,
And I thought, well, that's somewhere.
I think Janet was, we were talking about that painting the other day, and I think she said Tim still has it.
okay.
I'll ask her for sure, but I'm excuse me, I'm pretty sure that's what she said.
Well, that's really interesting, I got all
So-
the info. I got a whole bunch.
Okay, who we got next time? My book's at home. I know we have one.
Do we have anybody?
Yeah, we got one.
Ricky Skaggs,
Mark.
Keith Skaggs supposed to come back.
Yeah. Who do we
Okay, and
have?
I've got Mark Evans, is that,
Oh,
from
no,
the
there's
Fair
one
Board?
after that. Oh, the Fair Board and,
The Fair Board's supposed to come
yeah,
back.
and who else? There was, well, I have the Fair Board, but I thought there was someone else. And read the
Who did she say,
paper.
Ricky Skaggs?
She wants to ask him
Yeah,
to come back.
Oh,
Keith
okay.
Skaggs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He said he was
So read
coming
the
back
paper
in
to
June.
see who else besides the Fair Board's going to be on, because that'll
And
be
then
the
you-
last one before the fair, the last show before the
You may not even
fair.
find out then either, because we didn't get his name in.
I think it was on television today. I told
Okay,
Don to put
good.
it on. Yeah. That was my mess up. I went to
No.
Branson and I forgot to email,
And
so.
I didn't call her, I don't think enough time to get it
Yeah,
on
you
it.
did.
Okay.
Weekends are fine, I mean, like Sunday.
Yeah.
They can still slip it in. But I left and went to Branson Wednesday, and I just totally forgot about it until I got home and I said to Don, put Sean's name on television. I forgot to send it to the paper.
But that's okay.
So I don't know if
We
he did or
don't
not.
have to have the
Yeah.
names, we just want the people.
Have a surprise guest, yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
so.
That's it.
Okay, so if you guys have said everything you want to say, okay, so the library is looking for people with ideas what to have. They have several programs and it'll be in the newspaper, correct?
Yep.
And
Good.
Mary Ann, give his telephone number again. If anybody has any ideas or wants to contact Sean, his number is,
883-3358.
okay.
And
And Mark has several books that you can get. Sassafras, down on Main Street.
no, on St. Mary's Road.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh, I always call that Main Street.
Yeah.
St. Mary's Road, the end of St. Mary's, end of Main, first,
Beginning of St. Mary's,
yeah,
yes.
beginning of St. Mary's Road,
And
in the
Stockers.
Brooks House, the old Brooks House. And also at Sager Jewelers. And then, or you can get them from him or off of his website, www.m-l-evans.com, or at Sager Jewelers.
Or the fourth Friday, he's going to be.
And that's
He's going
right,
to be sent.
at Mammy Shaw.
At Mammy Shaw House.
First-
He'll be
And he'll be
signing
signing books, and maybe I'll
Yes.
remember to bring mine along and have you sign it. But I'll probably bring it by the paper, that's
And I
easier.
gotta come out and renew my library
Oh, with
card.
the Chavities
Haven't been
there.
out
Oh,
there.
that's right, with the Chavities. They're gonna have a little entertainment, which will be great.
Yes.
And refreshments.
Cause I wanna do.
And
I
the
wanna get
Chavities are
details
really,
so I
really
can
good.
know.
They
Yes,
are.
they are. 'Cause
They're a very
I
talented
tracked-
family, and
I tracked
Bunny
it back
paints,
all the way, so
and
I've
her
got
mom's a
my-
very good cookie baker.
my founder of my family, was Abraham Lincoln.
They're a very talented family.
His
So our
dad
next
and
show is
founder of
going
my
to be
family
on
brothers. So,
Very
26th. 26th,
I wanna
yeah.
get
June
all the
26th at 7 o'clock,
I wanna
right
get
here
the
where
dates
you're
all-
at now on
so I can get
991.
that lined up.
So you can tune in and watch us, and you can also see it on tomorrow morning at 1 on YouTube. 991 also. Well, they try to get it on YouTube as fast as they can after it's airing, so you can just check that out. 1 o'clock in the morning on 991, 7 o'clock in the morning, and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and 7 o'clock in the evening. So we got 4 chances to watch it. And then
thank you for
3
watching.
until we air the next time, so.
And I have some friends that remind me of what I look like.
Thank you all for
Yeah.
joining us, and thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you for
guys
having
for being
us.
on,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate
Yes,
it.
thank you.
Everybody always says we have such interesting guests,
Yes, we do have.
and I'm sorry I was so sleepy tonight, but I was, I still am.
We
so.
forgive you.